Hey, are you looking for a Soldier 76 stadium build? I got one for you. So you come to the right place. You're looking for a Soldier 76 stadium build. I haven't played a lot of stadium yet. I've played maybe 10 matches, and all of my matches I've had great success with this build. And I think that there's many builds that you can do, but this is one that I've had a lot of success with already, and it works currently for me. I don't know if it works at the highest rank in stadium, but I know it works in the rank that I'm in now. And like I said, I've only played a few matches, so I'll just go ahead and make this quick and jump right into it. First off, when you get in a stadium, you have to lock in a character, lock in Soldier 76. So now that you've locked in Soldier 76, we got to figure out what your build is going to be. It's going to prompt you into the armory. First, went into the example builds over here. And I clicked on example builds, and the first game I played, I just went right across the board and just selected those. And it was fine. What ended up happening was I built an all speed and damage build, which was fun, and I won the match. But I felt like there was probably something better I could have done, and it was also really hard to handle it because Soldier 76, his aim kicks up as you shoot. So with a lot of speed, I was just going straight up with my gun. So it was pretty hard to handle. It was shredding, it was awesome, but otherwise, I felt like there was something better I could do. So I decided to ignore the example builds and just build what I wanted. There are 3 different types of perks you can select from, so weapon, ability, and survival. There's power. Power is completely different. I'll get into that, but for the purpose of this, there's 3 weapons, so you're going to buff your weapon, whether that's damage, speed, lifesteal. Ability, that's going to buff your abilities. So in the case of Soldier, you're buffing his Helix, Rocket, and his healing. Survival, this is straight up armor and health. I didn't look at that very much, but that's what it seemed like it was to me. You're just giving yourself a lot of health and armor bonuses. I decided I wanted to do a Helix Rocket NoobTube build, right? I just want to be spamming my rocket, coming off cooldown, getting max value out of that. The first thing that I do, because you have a limited amount of money when you start out, so 3,500 cash. So starting out, I go with Power Playbook. This gives me 10% ability power, which is going to boost my healing and my Helix Rocket, which that's the thing I want to buff. So for the other 2, I do charge plating, and then I do weapon damage. It doesn't really matter. You could pick any of these, but I want to maximize the Helix Rocket. So everything I want as much as I can go into ability power. I'm backed up a little bit, but for the power, I select the double Helix. This thing is super busted in my opinion. I can't believe how good it is. You don't just shoot 1 rocket, you shoot 2 rockets. The second rocket will do 70% less damage, but it's a homing. So you can shoot, miss, but the homing might hit. If you hit both, it's almost an insta-kill, depending on how much health they have. Usually squishy enemies. And I just want to go ahead and for the purpose of the power part of this, across the board, I'm starting with double Helix. Then I go into cratered. Cratered is crazy. So the radius is bigger, so you're going to hit them. You can have more of a area where you can miss, and it's going to do 25% more damage, which we want more damage. That's what we want to do. Third, I'll pick the hunker down. So hunker down is kind of cool. So you shoot your rocket, it deals damage. You get a biotic field with 70% reduced duration at your position. So immediately if you hit, you're going to get a biotic field. So you can spam your rocket every 5 seconds. And if it hits, you're going to get a biotic field healing you, which is super nice. So as you progress through the rounds, you're going to want to start getting more expensive perks. So I usually go straight to the epic. If I get bonus cash, or I get enough cash just in general, I get that $10,000 or $9,000 cash. So my strategy when it comes to picking these perks is I want to get the most expensive ones. I want all epic. The epic ones give you the most, in my opinion, for the value. So immediately I'm going straight to, I have $11,000. Let me get one of these. I don't necessarily have an order yet in which I unlock these, but obviously by the end of the game, my goal is to fill all 6 of these with epics. I want all epic ability perks in this slot, and I want all 4. I want 3 of these to be for Helix, and then I think 1 I had to do for damage. But otherwise, it's all relating to the Helix Rocket. These I want all epics. So this one is a really good one. 20% ability power, 10% cooldown. And honestly, you could do any variation of these. I don't think it matters. The main goal is to go for everything that gives you a percentage of ability power. You want this to be by round 3, 4, 5. You want to get up into the 60% range. I'll share on screen. Let me go ahead and just do that. Let me share on screen the very specific ones that I had by the end of my match. But like I said, it doesn't. You don't have to do those, but those are the ones that I focused on. And you have to do a little bit of selling here and there. So like, if you don't have enough, you sell maybe one of your green ones to afford a blue one, or sell a blue one to afford an epic one. But the goal is to get epics. You want to get these because they give you the most value. So this is an example I wanted to show just real quick of what the end of a 7-round match looks like for me. So these were the perks that I picked. You can see that they're all epic. My ability power is over 100%, which I need to figure out if there's like diminishing returns. If you go above 100%, I'm not sure yet. But your ultimate goal in building this NoobTube build is you want all ability power. Everything goes to ability power. And these are the 6 that I finally came up with at the end. It doesn't matter which order you get them in. I was just buying them as I went. There's probably a very super min-maxy way to efficiently get the most out of each one at each round. But these were the 6 that I finally stopped on. And essentially, these are all just ability power plus some reduction, some health here, some with having to do with ults. But ultimately, like I said, go through the ability list on the Helix and pick the ones that are benefiting the Helix the most. So for the last slot, right here, so this is one of the power abilities that I was talking about. It is Helix related, which is, it's not in the Helix line. It's not in the ability line. I think it's in the damage line. It is when you shoot a Helix rocket for 0.75 seconds, you have your auto aim for your main attack. So you Helix, and then you go straight into having a visor, like your ultimate. So for the purpose of showing you guys the build, that's it right there. That's the concept. This is the build. This is what you need to know. If you want to see this build, I'm going to go ahead and start running the footage, show you guys some gameplay of me playing, not exactly with this exact build, because this was a 7-rounder. I didn't record this one. I recorded another one, but it is essentially using the same formula. So I'll go ahead and jump to that.
Control. Soldier 76 is here to run down the competition. The teams need to lock in their choices. A golden play by Orchestra.
Check. Affirmative.
Here's our score. 0-1. You can really tell who the playmakers are. We've not long now until the teams lock in for the round.
Scratch that KIA.
Here's Mercy with a miraculous
I completely fucked up.
You can't beat me. Oscar Mike to enemy territory. I've got you in my sights.
Final push. Let's stop them.
We have to meet their push and stop them.
Guide you.
Fields online.
Intense competition this round.
Sit down.
The arena is ready and waiting. 20 seconds to go.
I've got you in my sights.
Soldier 76 is back in command. Round is in the bag. Let's check the standings. 0 to 3. You can really tell who the playmakers are. We're in the middle innings and everyone's waiting to see how the match shakes out. Only 20 seconds remain before the action begins.
You're the boss.
Thanks. What a play by Soldier 76!
Heals coming up. Smithereens.
Oh, Soldier 76 is back in command! Oh, that's gonna stay!
Impersonate somebody else. I've been doing this for years.
That's a bounty secured.
For the Crusaders!
A remarkable play!
Stay out of my way.
Bounty's been cleared. An ultimate shutdown.
You can't beat me. Shake it off!